Time to grab your tea and have a seat. Let's discuss politics, crime, celebrity gossip, investigative reporting. Welcome to The Real Tea with Double D on GSMC Podcasting Network, where I am black and the news is always petty as hell, but it's accurate.
Hey players, welcome to, hold on, I didn't even move my daggone microphone. Hey players, welcome to a brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D. Of course, I am Double D and we are on the GSMC Podcasting Network. So excited to be with you all tonight after 2 weeks in hiatus, baby. Was it 2 or 3? Was it 3 episodes I missed or just 2? I want to say 2, okay? Just 2 episodes. Your girl with the Disney, then I got sick that next week, honey. Could not make it, baby. I'm telling you, my voice was sounding like I don't know what and who done it. And then last week I was coughing up a storm. So I was like, there's no way that Double D is going to be able to record a podcast. So I was like, let me just go ahead and take this day off and get my voice together, get myself, because y'all know I had the COVID. I had the COVIDer. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. I guess I got it at Disney. I'm really not sure how it happened, but my kids and my husband didn't get it. So it must have been when I went somewhere by myself, although I don't remember when I went somewhere by myself. But I have a sucky immune system anyway because I had cancer. Everybody knows that. I had cancer, so I'm immune compromised. And so my freaking immune system is freaking terrible. So, of course, I will be the one to get COVID for the second time. And my husband and my children did not get it. Thankfully, they did not get it. I'm thankful that they didn't get it. But we had an amazing vacation. Disney was wonderful. Me and my husband had a great anniversary this past weekend. It was great. And I am feeling footloose and fancy free, honey, ready to spill this tea. So I hope y'all guys are ready. We're not going to be here all night, honey. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. It's been a pretty slow news day. It's actually been a pretty slow news week. If that happens sometimes, my little cough, just look over me, honey. We just going to have to look over it. You out there in podcasting world, please just look over it. I'm trying to get over this cold, honey. But anyway, we'll get over this COVID and there's still a little bit of cough in there. But anywho, I want to welcome y'all to a brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D out there on Facebook, YouTube, Tickety Talk, and Podcasting World. Thank y'all so much for riding and flying with me. Thank you to you ones that stay up to watch me. I know I'm a little bit late. I got Andrea in the building one more again here on Facebook. She kind of punked me last night talking about my grass. And I have my girl Niecy baby over here on TikTok, my great moderators. I don't know if Lisa is in the building. I know Murtis is here. I'm not sure which place she is, but thank y'all for joining me. I really do appreciate it. All of you guys. I've seen Eva in the building as well. Thank y'all so much for coming, baby. Now, I want y'all to go ahead and sit back, relax, because we're about to get into some tea. Some of this stuff is going to be relaxing, and some of this stuff is going to piss you the hell off. But hey, that's what I'm here to do, honey, spill this tea. So y'all go ahead and grab your teacups, honey, because we know frumpy to the motherfucking dump is coming up first. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. Frumpy dump, frumpy dump, frumpy to the motherfucking dump. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Now, I know that y'all thought I was going to talk about, Georgia first, but there ain't no way I could do that, honey, because my girl, Attorney General Letitia James, the one that I like to call a pit bull in the skirt, baby, she done came through in the clutch with a new court filing, and I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I had to clutch my invisible damn pearls. I was like, child, not frumpy dump inflating them assets by billions. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So y'all know whenever I say something about Attorney General Letitia James, I have to go ahead and do my Law and Order theme. So here it go. In the criminal justice system, Frumpy Dump thought he would get away with crimes. But in New York, there's an attorney general by the name of Letitia James. This is her story. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Baby, I used to have a whole little thing where I actually used the Law and Order thing whenever I did that. But hunty, baby, Law and Order, they like to hit you with the copyright. So I said, I'm going to sing that shit myself. All right, y'all. So let's get into this new this court filing by Attorney General Letitia James. So Attorney General Letitia James in a court filing has alleged that Frumpy Dump inflated his net worth by as much as $2.2 billion in 1 year. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. According to the new court filing by the Attorney General's office, over a 10-year period, Frumpy Dump and his Frumpy Dump's financial statements had misvaluations and reductions where his net worth went from between 17 to 39% each year, over between 812 billion to 2.2 billion, depending on the year. Let me say that again because I think I may have said it wrong. Let's read that again. The Attorney General's office said that when it corrects the Frumpy Dump financial statements for alleged misevaluation, it reduces Frumpy Dump's net worth by between 17 to 39% in each year, or between 812 million or 2 to 2.2 billion, depending on the year. The 2.2 billion disparity came in 2014. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So in the filing, they said, based on the undisputed evidence, no trial is required for the court to determine that defendants presented grossly and materially inflated asset values in the statements of financial condition, and then use those SFCs to repeatedly in business transactions to defraud banks and insurers. The Attorney General's office also wrote that notwithstanding defendants, 13 experts looked at this, and at the end of the day, this is a documents case, and the documents have no shred of doubt that Frumpy Dump's FSCs do not even remotely reflect the estimated current value of his assets as they would trade between well-informed market participants. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Baby, they said that Frumpy Dump in 1 year, Frumpy Dump and also his his children said on his $300 million on his apartment that it was like 30,000 square feet or whatnot. It was supposed to be one of the largest apartments in New York City, and that the value was like $30 million or something like that. Well, come to find out, honey, the apartment was only like 11,000 square feet. So that took the value down by less than half. So Frumpy Dump had been out here inflating his assets and then going and filing insurance and all kind of old stuff. At least that's what the Attorney General is alleging. She's alleging that Frumpy Dump inflated his assets as well as the Frumpy Dump children. As we know, Eric Trump and Frumpy Dump Jr. is also named in this lawsuit, honey. It's ridiculous. Now, Melania, not Melania, but Ivanka, she actually got out of this. She was able to backpedal and pussy pop out of this. But Eric Trump and Donald Frumpy Dump Jr. is named in this lawsuit. Now, as we know, Attorney General Letitia James is seeking damages of $250 million from Frumpy Dump, saying that he inflated his assets and defrauded many people, and as well as the state of New York when he inflated those assets. Now, this continues by saying the statements of financial condition at issue were simply not misleading. That's Frumpy Dump's. This is Frumpy Dump's response. So, in response to that court filing, Frumpy Dump, of course, and the others have denied wrongdoing. Frumpy Dump's attorney said in a court filing that the Frumpy Dump organization's financial statements were not misleading, and it never missed a loan payment, arguing that the judge should dismiss the Attorney General's, Sorry for that brief intermission. Arguing that the judge should dismiss the attorney general's fraud lawsuit since no parties were harmed. The statements of financial condition at issue were simply not misleading. Therefore, the defendants are entitled to a summary judgment as a matter of law, Frumpy Dump's attorneys wrote. The undisputed record further establishes his company's timely paid hundreds of millions of dollars in interest to lenders and never defaulted on a loan or even been late on a loan payment during the entire 15-year period the New York Attorney General has sought to scrutinize with this action. Now, Frumpy Dump and Attorney General Letitia James are heading to court in in October. So this is going to be interesting to say the least. Attorney General Letitia James has presented lots of evidence and were able to get a hold of lots of bank records and excuse me, y'all, I cannot get myself. Attorney General Letitia James has gotten together lots of evidence and financial records, subpoenaed a lot of people. So it's going to be very interesting. And I'm also interested to see and hear what Alan Weisselberg, who is the former CEO of the Frumpy Dumping organization, what exactly is he going to say? Is he going to be testifying in this case? So it's going to be very interesting. This is going to be a very interesting year for Frumpy Dump closing out and also going into 2024. And with that being said, honey, what's interesting for him is going to be entertaining for us. So I'm as happy as a flea on a dog's ass to see that things are moving forward, and we are going to get to a trial with Frumpy Dump. We have that one coming up, and we also have the defamation case that's coming up in January. And of course, we got, all the others. So this is going to be very interesting. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat because we're going to move on to the Georgia case. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Baby, this is ridiculous and a hot boo boo shitty mess to see all of these people that have been indicted for trying to overturn an election for Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. Baby, when I tell you it's ridiculous, it is ridiculous and a hot boo boo shitty mess. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I'm here for it all. So the Georgia arraignment, all 19 defendants are going to have to shake a tail feather back on down there to Georgia, where they're going to have to be arraigned. Now, listen, some of them may waive their right and go ahead and have their attorney. I mean, I believe that all of them may just do that, but some of them may not. I don't know. But we are almost certain that Frumpy Dump will likely waive his appearance and go ahead and have his attorney plead on his behalf. Now, that's supposed to happen on September 6th, which I believe is next week. It's supposed to be 9:30. All 19 defendants have to be arraigned. So they're going to do it in 15-minute intervals through 3 p.m. That is the schedule that they have. Again, we're expecting Frumpy Dump to not show up in Fulton County. We're actually expecting him to waive his right and to an appearance. And also we can expect to see that in a lot of the others. Human Skid, Mark Giuliani, Mark Meadows, he's definitely not going to be scurrying down there. Now, speaking of Mark Meadows, we know we have Mark Meadows that is in court right now. Well, he had a court hearing the other day to determine, I believe it was day before yesterday, to determine whether he was going to determine whether his case was going to be moved, this Georgia case be moved from state court to federal court. Now, to a lot of our surprise, Mark Meadows actually testified at this hearing. Now, it was very interesting because nobody was expecting to hear from Mark Meadows. You remember back when the January 6th Select Committee was actually doing their thing, Mark Meadows actually was held in contempt. They just didn't go forward with the charges, but he did not. He did not testify. So he's been backpedaling and pussy popping and scurrying all around the issue. But to protect himself, he did go ahead and speak. And they say he testified for about 5 hours, 4 of which was before his own attorney, maybe 3.5 or so was before his own attorney. And then he also was subject to cross-examination. Now, the prosecution, they focused on Mark Meadows' role in setting up Frumpy Dump's infamous phone call with Brad Rassenberg. As we all know, honey, Frumpy Dump actually asked Brad Rassenberg to find 11,780 votes that was needed to win the election there. Now, Frumpy Dump is saying that it was a perfect phone call. However, I just listened to that phone call the other day. There was some threats going on in that phone call because he was trying to say that Brad Rassenberg knew that the election was stolen and it was illegal for him to do that. He also said something about Brad Rassenberg having an election coming up and saying that this could be repercussions for him if he didn't step up and do something about this situation. Although there was nothing for him to do. Charlie was ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess. So Ann Green Cross, she was a lawyer for the district attorney's office, asked Mark Meadows on cross-examination what, if any, federal goal he was furthering in his participation in the meetings and calls challenging the election results. Now, Mark Meadows admitted to making the arranging everything. He actually said that it was in his capacity as the chief of staff. And he said he believed that the federal purpose was to ensure that there was a free and fair election in the United States. She then asked him about the purpose of the call to Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Rassenberger. And he said it was to come to a less litigious resolution. Basically, they didn't want to have to litigate the matter in Georgia. That he wanted basically for Brad Rassenberg to find the 11,000 votes and for everything to come up roses for Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. And he said that they was trying to find a resolution to the pending lawsuits against the state, and then the prosecutor asked him if settling a private lawsuit served as a federal purpose, because those were private lawsuits. Those were not federal lawsuits. They weren't on the behalf of the United States. The DOJ wasn't filing them for Frumpy Dump, anything like that. This was filed by his own private attorneys. And Mark Meadows replied that his duties were broad. Mark Meadows, he has to establish that his push to overturn the results of the election was a part of his job description. And that's going to be hard for him because, again, Frumpy Dump filed those lawsuits privately with his private attorney. And as a result, Mark Meadows' attempt to find a resolution was furthering a private legal dispute, not a governmental concern, especially as Frumpy Dump made it clear he was making the call to change the results in his personal favor, not to further a federal interest in fair elections. This declaration of aims brings us to Mark Meadows' next hurdle, which is the president had no constitutional role in elections. Frumpy Dump is not involved in any elections. He has no authority when it comes down to elections. Elections are on state level. So he had no business doing that. So why would Mark Meadows be in his capacity as a federal employee to Frumpy Dump when these are state elections? You don't dibble and dabble in those type of things. So that's going to be a really big problem for him. And then the third and final problem for Mark Meadows is going to be the Hatch Act, which prohibits federal executive employees, particularly senior administrative officials, from politicking. Baby, you can't go around here and politic while you are on the government while you were being paid by the government, while you're employed by the government. You cannot do that. You can't do it on the property. You can't do anything like that. Using official authority to influence or interfere with results of an election, baby, Mark Meadows is going to have a very hard time with that. A lot of legal experts do say that he have a chance, and some say that he don't. So it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, he has to be arraigned on September 6th. Okay. So this is what, next week, that if this case is going to be moved, the judge has already stated that Mark Meadows has to be arraigned down there. So if the judge doesn't make his decision before then, Mark Meadows, and the decision isn't in Mark Meadows' favor, he definitely has to be arraigned in Georgia, and that is something that he doesn't want to do. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So we'll see what happens, what's going to come out in the Washington arraignment of that. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Now, we have also those defendants down there in Georgia. We have Kenneth Cheeseborough. Now, Kenneth Cheeseborough filed for a speedy trial. I told you guys about that the other day. Cheeseborough and the judge actually granted his wishes. He's supposed to stand trial on October 23rd. In that case. Now, he is going to be, as of right now, he's going to be on his own. Now, District Attorney Willis has filed a motion to have all of the defendants be tried together. We all know that that's what District Attorney Willis has said time and time again. But on Monday, Kenneth Cheeseborough actually made a move that is very interesting. And he is asking the judge to unseal a host of underlying records in the case, including the special grand jury report that recommended charges, the transcripts of testimony that were heard by the panel, and any recordings in the proceedings. So the motion said that numerous witnesses, including co-defendants, unindicted co-conspirators, and traditional witnesses, testified before the special grand jury, and that Cheeseborough anticipates that many of these same people will testify at his trial. Finally, there is also an overarching due process concern that Mr. Cheeseborough have access to all prior testimony of witnesses who are expected to testify at the trial and made statements before the special purpose grand jury in order to properly defend themselves. Finally, so that's what his attorney said in that ruling, in that motion. Now, it hasn't been ruled on as of yet. The special grand jury did not have indictment power. They just recommended those charges. And then, of course, District Attorney Fannie Willis had to convene a real grand jury, because in the state of Georgia, any charges that are brought, felony charges that are brought, they have to have a grand jury. So this is going to be interesting. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on that, and you guys know that I'm going to keep you guys updated on any of that, and on all of it. All right, players. One last defendant that we got to talk about, because y'all know I'm not going to be able to let this one go, honey, and that would be Harrison Floyd. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So Harrison Floyd got out of the clink today. Now let's just go ahead and go over a little bit of his history, because I love to talk about it, because I feel like he is a dumb ditty, but he might. I mean, when you listen to this, you can put your thoughts in the comments, and you can let me know if you still feel like he's a dumb ditty. Because in my opinion, my very educated opinion, I feel like Mr. Harrison Floyd actually fleeced his way out of prison. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I feel that way. So, as we know, Harrison Floyd was the only frumpy dump defendant to go down, scurry his ass on down there to Fulton County without having an attorney, and also without having a bond agreement. Now, they said that he was made, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, I believe that's what the paper is called. According to them, he was the only one that didn't have a bond agreement, and he was down there acting a plumb fool, trying to get arrested. He was like, I can't. He was in the lobby. I came down here. I want to get arrested. I'm ready to turn myself in. Blase, skip, all this kind of stuff. They looking at him like, but dude, you have absolutely no bond agreement. So according to them, they let him on back there, honey. And then, of course, Attorney General Letitia James was called. Now, according to Attorney General Letitia James spokesperson, um, uh, Harrison Floyd wanted to be arrested, and he actually declined. He actually declined to negotiate a bond agreement. She sent one of her agents down to the jail to negotiate with Harrison Floyd, and according to her spokesperson, he did not want to. According to the spokesperson, it said Mr. Floyd has had an opportunity to work out a consent bond in the same manner as the other defendants named in the indictment, but he chose not to until today, which was yesterday. While all of the other defendants, including Frumpy Dump, turned themselves into the jail with a pre-arranged bond, Harrison Floyd, the former leader of the group Black Voices for Frumpy Dump, showed up Thursday without an attorney and was arrested and booked like any other criminal defendant. Attorney General Letitia James' office provided the Atlanta Journal-Constitution with a recording of a phone call that District Attorney Willis made the same day to the attorney Carlos Salvato, who is Harrison Floyd's attorney in the unrelated criminal case in federal court in Maryland. Y'all know that's where he's accused of assaulting a FBI agent. In that call, she explained that she had sent a representative to meet with Harrison Floyd at the jail when he turned himself in. Willis told Salvato that Floyd was offered a consent bond at that time, but he refused. So he refused the consent bond, and they acted like he was some type of political prisoner. And the Frumpy Dump Tank Sniffers know about it. If they didn't know about it before, then they know about it now, because Laura Loomer, who is one of the lead Frumpy Dump Tank Sniffers, she actually posted about it on X, on Twitter, and she said, and I quote, because I'm going to go and look at it here because I want you guys to hear it in its full form. She said, and I quote, that Harrison Floyd was offered a bond of $50,000, and she's accusing Attorney General Letitia James of doubling his bond to $100,000. Let me read this because I gotta find it. Okay, she said, at 10:40 a.m. Eastern today, Harrison Floyd was released from Fulton County Jail. Originally, he was denied bail by the judge on Friday, but after widespread outrage, Fani Willis caved, doubled his initial bail of $50,000 to $100,000 and allowed him to leave jail today. Harrison paid $11,080 in the form of a cashier's check today and was released 20 minutes ago. He's going on Steve Bannon's show right now and then headed to the Fulton County Courthouse. So y'all heard what she said. He was offered an initial bond of $50,000. Now, she's not putting in there that he refused the $50,000 bond when he was behind bars. Fani Willis offered him the $50,000 bond when he got there that day, and he refused the bond and took his ass to jail. And now he's fleeced the Frumpy Dump Tank Sniffers out of over $270,000 when he was offered a bond initially. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. But that just may be the smartest thing that Harrison Floyd has done, because he made himself $279,000 richer. That means that he doesn't have to pay his own attorney's fees. Obviously, the Frumpy Dump Tank Sniffers wasn't stepping up for him because he got in there in jail and said that he was broke as a joke. However, they sent the $270,000. The bond was increased to $100,000 for whatever Fani Willis's reasons was, probably because of that pending case up there in Maryland of the FBI assault. So they didn't know about the fact that he was offered a bond then. So how can you be a political prisoner when you were actually offered bond? Make it make sense, because it fucking doesn't. You was offered bond and you refused it. You're not a political prisoner. You're a willing participant in every single way possible. Harrison Floyd was a willing participant in the entire thing. He fleeced himself out of Fulton County Jail. He didn't have the money. He fleeced himself out. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So let's move on to him going on to him getting out of jail, which I showed y'all that video earlier on my Facebook page. If you're not following me on Facebook, you're missing out because I put a lot of extra stuff on there. But I'm going to show you guys. He refused to say something. I'll let you know that. He refused to talk to them. So let me let y'all hear what he said on Steve Bannon's show.
Harrison, you made a comment at the beginning. Do you think you were singled out because you're an African American and particularly a MAGA? You're MAGA. You're a Trump supporter. You're a patriot. You're a veteran. Do you think you were singled out because of that?
Part of it, part of the black culture is always voting Democrat. I went against the code, if you will, at the highest order. And so the district attorney decided she wanted to send me what we call a Negro wake-up call. And she dialed the wrong number because it didn't go through. So we're going to make an announcement here soon at the courthouse steps. And it's going to be pretty exciting.
All right, so that's what he had to say to Steve Bannon, taking a shot at District Attorney Fani Willis. Once again, he's trying to play. He's trying to play a victim. I mean, that's why he's a supporter of Frumpy Dump. He's a perpetual victim. That's what Frumpy Dump does. Now, let me let y'all hear this right here and get ready to clutch your invisible damn pearls. If you haven't heard about this part, you definitely gonna be clutching. Don't drink anything because you just might choke it up.
Yes. So first, I just want to give thanks to God, who's the head of my life, for keeping me safe while I was in there. Second, I want to thank my wife, who's been a tremendous support, and I want to thank everyone outside who's been praying for their well wishes, and especially for all the kind contributions to the legal fund. They're greatly appreciated. And last but not least, I would like to thank District Attorney Fani Willis for giving me what we call in our community a Negro wake-up call, because she has reminded me that our country and the state of Georgia will not be able to be a righteous nation if we stand on pillars of corruption, racism, lying, and cheating. And when we are governed by men and women who are more concerned about things in the world rather than serving the citizens they're sworn to protect, we end up going into more and deeper darkness. So the only thing we can do is follow God and lead by example. And so I'm also announcing right now that I'm exploring running for a congressional seat in Georgia. I'm coming back here to get things right. Thank you.
You heard him. You heard him. He said that he is running for a congressional seat in the state of Georgia. He is planning to move to Georgia so that he can run for a congressional seat. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Baby, I have never in my entire existence of living.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Man, sit your ass down.
Baby, it's going to be kind of hard to run, honey, when you're running from the clink, because we've already heard the evidence, honey. We already know that you were a part of that pressure campaign against Ruby Freeman. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to play this. Baby, we'll definitely have to see. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. We're moving on. Peter, I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So did y'all hear about Peter Navarro? Y'all remember him? I don't know if y'all remember Peter Navarro, honey, but he is damn ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess. So Peter Navarro was held in contempt by the January 6th Select Committee along with Steve Bannon. Now, as we know, Steve don't wash his ass Steve don't wash his ass unless Frumpy Dump tells him to. Bannon has already been convicted, and his case is currently under appeal. I think he's been sentenced to 6 months in federal prison. Now, Steve Bannon is now up, not Steve Bannon, but Peter Navarro is up to bat. And he tried to assert executive privilege. Well, baby, that didn't work for the judge. And the judge went ahead and smacked that hand real quick and said, no. You will not be using executive privilege. You wasn't working for Frumpy Dump. That doesn't apply to you. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Overseeing Peter Navarro's contempt of Congress case ruled in a pre-trial hearing Wednesday that the former Frumpy Dump advisor has not met his burden to show a formal assertion of executive privilege by former President Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. Peter Navarro will stand trial on criminal contempt charges next week for defying subpoenas issued to him by the January 6th Select Committee about the attack on the insurrection on January 6th. In a lengthy ruling, the judge said that Peter Navarro did not provide evidence that Frumpy Dump asserted executive privilege specific to the January 6th Select Committee subpoena. The judge also went on to say that Peter Navarro's claim that he spoke to Frumpy Dump on February 20, 2022, at which time Frumpy Dump clearly invoked executive privilege, provided no specific evidence that Frumpy Dump had indeed done so. So once again, Peter Navarro done got fucked by Frumpy to the motherfucking dump.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
I can't. Let me read that part again because I didn't read this earlier. He said, oh my God, let's read it again. In a lengthy ruling, the judge said that Peter Navarro's claim that he spoke to Frumpy Dump on February 20th, 2022, at which time Frumpy Dump clearly invoked executive privilege, provided no specific evidence that Frumpy Dump had actually done. So basically, the judge said,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
we don't fucking care. You have no evidence. Now, the judge did add that two key pieces of evidence. Peter Navarro presented a letter from Frumpy Dump attorney Evan Cochran and Navarro's own testimony. There was again no formal indication that Frumpy Dump had invoked executive privilege. The letter from Cochran, which the judge found to be the most compelling evidence, still did not explicitly state that Frumpy Dump invoked executive privilege. So that means that Peter Navarro will be heading to trial on September 5th. And you know what the irony in all of this is? Is that Peter Navarro skirted around the issue with the January 6th Select Committee, and Frumpy Dump still got indicted any damn way. Yes, and he sure did. He got indicted any damn way. I declare, and what a disgrace. So this is going to be interesting. If Peter Navarro is convicted, he faces up to a year in prison. Also, I believe it's like a $5,000 fine. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to come out in the Washington ranches of this. And y'all know Double D is going to report on it all. All right, players. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, honey, because we got to talk about this bank. American, oh Lord, Tiffany, think. American Bank of Oklahoma had an email that was sent out, and the subject line was "Proud to be white." Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. Let's talk about it. So the DOJ has worked out an agreement with a bank in Oklahoma. They have actually secured a settlement with the American Bank of Oklahoma after the DOJ launched an investigation into alleged redlining in the site of the 1923 Tulsa race massacre. There were emails that were discovered where the subject line of the email, and it was sent by the branch manager. He sent it to a group of colleagues, and the subject line was "proud to be white." It was littered with racial slurs, including the N-word. The email went to describe ghettos as dangerous places to live. Another email complained of multiculturalism, saying that it was killing the English language and American way of life. In bold letters, the email read, "If you think Mexicans and Muslims and other foreigners will eventually fit right in, then you are a big part of the problem as they are." Other emails between bank executives and loan officers blamed rising crime rates and violence in schools on minorities. Another email from the bank manager to an executive blamed gang violence and economic hardship on Black culture. It suggested that if Blacks left the United States, poverty rates, the prison population, welfare recipients, and gangs would decline, while average SAT scores and average income would increase. The emails were some evidence that the Justice Department used in its lending discrimination complaint against the Oklahoma bank, which alleged redlining around some of the same neighborhoods that suffered through the Tulsa race massacre just over 100 years ago. The bank agreed on Tuesday, which was yesterday, to spend at least $1.15 million on loan subsidies and community outreach to Black and Hispanic borrowers as a part of its consent order to settle the civil discrimination charges that were brought by the DOJ. In the settlement, Assistant Attorney General said the painful history of Tulsa makes this agreement particularly poignant because the redlined areas include historically Black neighborhoods that have endured the legacy of racial violence and continuing effects of segregation and discrimination. The DOJ launched the initiative to combat redlining in late 2021. Since then, it's pursued 8 redlining cases, securing $89 million in financings for victims of lending discriminations. The DOJ said that all of the bank's offices in the neighborhood were in neighborhoods that were majority white, and that the bank's service areas excluded all majority Black and Hispanic census tracts in the metropolitan area. The end result was a failure to provide mortgage lending services to neighborhoods that were predominantly Black and Hispanic around Tulsa from 2017 through 2021. So that is what happened with American Bank of Oklahoma. I will be posting this story onto my page. I would like for you to share it because I feel like no Black person, no Hispanic person, no person of color, no minority should be banking with American Bank of Oklahoma. I think that you need to move your money expeditiously if you do have it there, because obviously they don't want your money. It's ridiculous. A hot bullshitty message should never happen. And in my opinion, $1 million is not enough for the things that they said and also the things that they did, keeping the Black people out of the community that they were once driven out of by racial violence. It is disgusting that this ever happened, and it really it upsets me to oblivion. And I don't think that they should. I don't think this is not a pat on the back to the Justice Department, because I don't feel like they should have settled the case. I feel like they should have took that case all the way, and if they bankrupt that bank, they just bankrupt that bank, in my opinion. All right, players, y'all grab y'all tea and have a seat, because we're gonna move on from that, because I'm about to start cussing. All right, players. So we're going to move on here to a story. I ran across this and I just thought it was extremely disgusting. So a Muslim family went into Airy Orchard and Cedar Mill in, oh my God, Tiffany, Ann Arbor. I think it was Ann Arbor, Michigan. Yes. Ann Arbor, Michigan, to pick some peaches and pick some apples. It was a family of 4, 2 little sweet little girls. I saw pictures of them. They are so adorable. A mother and a father. They went in to pick the apples. They went in and they actually went and they found some went and got apples. They got $70 worth of apples, but the little girls, being little girls, they wanted to actually have the experience of picking the peaches off of the trees, like other people do. But when the father went up to one of the employee was like, well, y'all can go out there and do it, but you're likely not going to find anything because, it's late in season. And also we know there's been a lot of things that went on with peaches this year. They're kind of hard to find. So she said y'all can, according to Mr. Oh man, I don't want to mess up his name. Joe Mahmood. I'm probably butchering his name. I'm just going to call him Joe. Okay, so according to him, she told him, said, you can go ahead and pick something, and if you find some, it's okay. You can keep them or whatever because they're likely rotten and messed up. So he goes out there, him and his girls, and they find a bag. They get a bag of mostly rotten peaches. They really just picked them because the girls wanted to pick the peaches, and so a lot of them they said they got off the ground. So they took the ones that they bought, which was $70 worth, and then they also walked out with the bag of peaches that the girls had picked. They got to the vehicle, and then someone comes out chasing them out to the vehicle. It says that this man, his name is Mr. Steve Erzinga. I guess that's how you say his last name. Y'all know me, I be fucking up names. Elzinga, Mr. Steve Elzinga runs out to the vehicle. Let me show you his picture. He runs out to the vehicle, starts looking in the bed of the truck. He actually opens the door of the truck, started looking in the back. The baby girl was back there. She had fallen asleep. One of the babies did. Said he was horrified. Like, what the hell is going on? And this man tells him that Muslims always steal from him. And he caught it on video. Y'all go ahead and take a look at this disgustingness.
Understand why you would say that, though.
Because it's true.
What's true?
You pick. You go into Kroger's and fill your basket up.
No.
Oh, wait
a minute.
I'm
getting sick of you folks coming down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What? Who's you folks? I don't understand.
Every Muslim that comes in here steals from me.
Every Muslim that comes in here steals from you.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's why you're acting like this.
And that's why you're going to pay.
You know what's great about this conversation?
But tell me what's great about this, buddy.
I will make sure.
I hope you make sure that nobody ever comes here.
Because that is racist. You're racist.
Oh, of course I am.
You're a racist motherfucker.
But you're a thief.
I'm so scared of you. Like you don't realize who I am, but you're still
big.
there. Huh?
You're big.
Big?
Yeah, you're a big man.
Oh, you don't. I'm not threatening, but I'm just telling you, you're threatening me.
No,
you said I hope these Muslims don't ever come back here.
I don't.
That's rude, man.
I don't want them here.
I'm saying, like, why would I want to spend any money with you when you say that?
Well, I don't need you.
I don't need you neither.
You cost me so much money.
I don't need you neither, but you're so rude and racist.
Why are you here?
Well, I like to help local businesses out.
Yeah. Well, we don't need you.
How long till they get her?
Couple hours.
The police?
Yeah, couple hours.
You said you called them.
I called them.
Well, when are they going to come? Because I got to go.
I don't know.
Okay. So are you holding me hostage here?
I'm holding you until you pay your bill.
So you're kidnapping me?
Sure.
I'm basically, that's what you're telling me.
You pay the bill, you're gone. She got a $50 bill. She pays the $50 bill.
Look.
Okay, you're here.
There's no way in hell I will give someone any money after when he tells me that he hates all Muslims.
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. As you heard him, he said he hates all Muslim. Every time Muslim comes there, they steal from him, steal from the business. He also stated that he doesn't need their money. And he also held them there and wouldn't let them leave, alleging that the police were going to show up in 2 hours. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So this happened on August 13th. Now, Mr. Joe, he has filed a lawsuit against this business owner, Mr. Steve Elzinga. He filed a lawsuit alleging, a federal lawsuit actually, alleging falsely that Elzinga falsely imprisoned him and his family over payment for picked fruit and negligence by the orchard for failing to remove Elzinga from the scene. Now, Mr. Elzinga actually scurried his ass on over to Facebook. Now, this happened on the 13th, but he hadn't said anything until Mr. Joe filed his lawsuit, and he wrote on his Facebook page, and I was pretty sure that I had it in here, y'all, for you guys to take a look at it, because he's been getting a lot of hate on his Facebook, of course, because Mr. Joe actually posted this on his Facebook page. And y'all, I know I had the apology, and I don't know why it is not by me right now. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Okay, so he says, he basically said that he was sorry to Mr. Elzinga and Mr. Joe and his family. I cannot find the apology. I thought I had it, but I don't have it. He said that he was sorry for what he did, and that his comments does not reflect his business at all. Said they are family-owned business, and he basically didn't mean what he said. That's basically what he said. Oh, I have it. My sincere apologies to Joe Muhammad, I don't know how to say his name, his wife, family, and the whole community for my remarks and actions on Sunday, August 13th. I am very sorry. As a family business, we have made conscious effort to be welcoming place for all in an often fractured world, and Sunday's incident sadly did not reflect that. With what occurred does not align with my values, beliefs, and heart of inclusion for everyone. I sincerely regret this and offer my deepest apologies. This man is a lie, and the truth ain't never been in him. He meant every single word of that, and I hope that Mr. Joe and his family hit him so hard in his pockets that he'll never think about being racist like that again. That man is a lie, and the truth ain't never been in him, baby. You meant every single word that you let go off of your spaghetti lips. And your spaghetti lips is done wrote a check that your ass is gonna have to cash. And I'm gonna keep up with this story because, baby, he is damn ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess for doing that. And his employees or anybody else that was in there, they should have came out there and said something to him, because that was absolutely absurd. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. Here's my motto: if you can't get them arrested, hit them in the pockets. Grab your tea and have a seat. We're moving on to the last story, which is an update on Moscow Mitch. Right, players. So as y'all know, Moscow Mitch had an incident earlier today. This is the second one where he froze. Take a look.
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
Okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
I'm sorry, y'all, but as much as I can't stand Moscow Mitch, and I know people like to say, I know karma, when it's been the block on you, it's been the block something. It may drip slow, but it's gonna eventually come back around. But I can't even y'all making fun of him, calling him frozen and calling him glitch Mitch. I just can't do it. I can't even laugh at it because it's horrific. It's really hard. Look at you talking about his Elliott brothers and sisters. Mary hush. I just cannot make fun of him. So Moscow Mitch's spokesperson told the Daily Beast that the senator felt momentarily lightheaded and paused during the press conference today. While he feels fine, as a prudential measure, the leader will be consulting a physician prior to his next event. President Biden actually said that he planned to check on Moscow Mitch, calling the minority leader a good friend. He said, I just heard literally coming out, and Mitch is my friend, as you know, not a joke. He said that they're going to be, he said, we have disagreements politically, but he's a good friend. So I'm going to try to get in touch with him later this afternoon. So that's what happened, honey. So they say that Moscow Mitch felt lightheaded for a second. And that's the baby. That wasn't. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. They'll lie. The truth ain't never been in their ass too, because that wasn't no lightheaded. That was something else. Moscow Mitch got something going on deep within himself, and that man need to go ahead and let it go. I know he's not running for re-election, and anybody that vote for him, they got to be crazy, because there is absolutely no way that he can represent that district in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, unless they want their handlers doing everything. Same thing with what's her name, Dianne Feinstein. Same thing with her. I don't think Nancy Pelosi needs to run. Like I said, I am a firm believer in term limits. There needs to be some term limits for these people, because they end up looking like that. Hey, you know, I could say something about Joe, but I ain't gonna go there, because I know y'all gonna get mad. All right, players. I really hope y'all that was fucked up. I really hope y'all enjoyed this brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D as much as I enjoy making it now. I'm sorry that I had a few coughing spells, but I'm hoping that I'll be better next week. If I don't, then y'all just gonna have to listen to my ass cough, because I'm gonna be back if the Lord say the same. All right, players. Let me know what you're thinking. Put out your thoughts in the comments. I really appreciate y'all on YouTube, Facebook, Tickety Talk. All of y'all who coming and joining, and also you ones that are listening out in podcasting world, y'all are the GOAT, because y'all keep on downloading. Y'all kept downloading even when your girl was not putting up no new episodes, and I really do appreciate that. So keep riding and flying with me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all have a good week. I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Peace.
Thanks for listening to The Real Tea with Double D. Remember to support by following on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And subscribe to the website to keep the tea piping hot at blackuratnews.com. That's BLAQURATENEWS.com.